Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Karina, and I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest. It is about 5:20 in the morning. Looks like a little fog. There's the moon up there. Today is the 9th day of Christmas, so January 2nd, 2024. Hope you all had a nice New Year's Day. I'm on my way out to the barn to feed the horses. I had a wonderful New Year's Day, actually. Went for a ride with 7 friends yesterday. Went about 5 miles and then came home. So I'll have some footage of that for you. Coming up on the creek. Looks like the neighbors still have their lights up. I'm always glad to see that because sometimes the lights get taken down on New Year's, which is still quite a dark time of year for here. Here's the pond, the pool. This is the creek upstream, and the house. Back to the pre-Christmas routine of the day, or rhythm of the day, as I like to call it. So early mornings, starting with some knitting and a cup of tea, which you will have seen. I do have a finished object to show you later. Still have lots of things on my needles. In fact, I have 4 things on my needles and no new cast-ons for New Year's. Looking for the horses. They're usually, oh, no, there they are. You just see some eyeballs, which you won't be able to see, but they're at the far fence line. Probably surprised to see me this early because it's been a while since I've been out here before 5:30 in the morning. Well, I'm gonna get to feeding. Good morning, everyone. It's still morning here. Welcome to the knitting portion of my podcast. I have a little bit to share. You would have seen my 4:30, or well, it was probably more like 4:15 a.m. Early morning before work knitting with a cup of tea. That's how I like to start my day, just kind of nice and easy. And then I feed the horses, which you saw that too. And I promised a finished object. I have one. So I made these slippers for my sister-in-law. The pattern is free. And it's possibly free because my mother gave it to me, although I'm sure it's free. So this is the 3rd pair I made. Finished them on January 1st. I don't really have, I have like a single sheet of instructions, and it's basically casting on 29, and then it's really a garter stitch. It goes all the way across, which is, it's hard to show, but basically you cast on, this is the cast on edge here, and it goes all the way around, and you knit it flat. So on the wrong side, you have to do a purl in order to get these foldable ridges. So and then you knit that for the foot length, and then there's this toe length. So I've knit the kind of smallish medium size for my sister-in-law because her feet are smaller than mine. I held 2 strands of acrylic yarn together. It's a Red Heart yarn. So I have a label here. Do have a label. I held pink and white, and it's Simply Soft. Karen probably got it at Joann Fabrics, is my guess, quite a long time ago. I've had this in my stash for quite a long time. And used, I want to say they are like 5mm needles. I think they're US size 9. So I got two slippers that are, these are unblocked. I don't need to block them. And I will deliver these to my sister-in-law soon. So I held pink and white together for her. I held green and white together and made a larger size for my sister. So I only have this much yarn left out of, so this was a full skein, and I've made 3 pairs of slippers out of this. So I may hold pink and green together the next time I make these. We'll see. I think that's the only acrylic yarn that I have, although I may have some bulky weight acrylic yarn. So, knitting projects. So works in progress. If you saw my episode a couple days ago, you would have seen that I finished the ARNE and Carlos stocking. That it was a KAL. It was a stocking, Colorwork stocking. Finished that. Hung it, blocked it, and hung it by the wood stove last night. I finished the Nutcracker Advent socks, patterned by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and it was a patron pattern knit along that she did for her patrons. And then the slippers were gift knits, so I made a pair for my sister, for my dad's wife, and then for my sister-in-law. So the projects that I still have on the needles are Advent socks that I haven't worked on in a while. And those are with the Freckled Whimsy Advent, the 24 stripe Advent skein of yarn. I am working on a shawl that is made primarily out of an Advent mini bouquet by Polka Dot Creek. The pattern is by Tellybeans Knits. The sock pattern, I should mention, is just a kind of a plain sock, just 15 rounds of 2x2 rib, and then I'm just knitting the rounds, knitting the stripes until I get a leg length that I'm happy with. Probably around 50. Although I'm really tempted to make knee socks, because I can almost get 2 pairs of socks out of one skein of yarn. So I may try it. Hopefully don't regret it. But I do like knee socks for the winter, especially riding in winter with tall boots and having knee socks under tall boots. So I'll talk about riding here in a minute after I get through my projects. What else am I working on? So I mentioned, that's the scarf that I showed, the Colorwork scarf. That's by Pacific Co. Knits, that's made out of scraps and a skein of undyed Polka Dot Creek fingering weight yarn. So the scrap yarn is from is the primary Colorwork sections that I just briefly showed this morning. And I'm still working on the Riverside sweater. So my plan is to probably work on the scarf in the morning. I can do the socks during Zoom meetings and then work on my sweater in the evening. So I guess the shawl will be on hold for a while, and it's going to be a bit before I do a new cast on, unfortunately. Yesterday I mentioned that Knit All the Yarn podcaster is holding 2 year-long KALs, and you can find them in her Ravelry group. I will post that in my show notes if you are interested. One is a Stephen West KAL knit along that she is hosting, and she provides a link to all the KAL patterns. And the other is Scrappy. So I will be participating in both, as I do like Stephen West shawls. And I should ask her if the socks count, because he did a mystery knit along of a pair of socks last year, and that I knit. So I do like his sock patterns as well. So that's it for the knitting. I did go for a ride yesterday with 8 friends. No, there were 8 of us total. So it was a big group of people who went for this ride. And there were 9 horses because one person was leading another horse, which is actually called ponying. When you pony a horse, it means that you are riding one horse and just leading the other one along. The other one is typically unmounted. So she has a young Mustang named Denny, after the horse on the Man from Snowy River. That lovely horse, if you have seen it. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. The classic horse girl movie. And it has Kirk Douglas in it, if you liked him as an actor. So anyway, it was really fun. It was a pretty nice day. I've got some video footage of that. And I think we went, well, my friend Andrea and I went 5.5 miles, and then we left the group so that we could get back in time to feed our animals before dark. So the other people may not have those same responsibilities, particularly if they board their horses or they have just more light in their areas than what Andrea and I currently do. And quite honestly, I feed my horses in the dark every morning. So if I can feed them in the light in the evening, I'm going to take it. So it was a good evening last night. Randy made smoked duck tacos. So we got a smoked duck for Christmas, and he likes to make tacos. So he made these very yummy tacos out of it. And we watched a Christmas movie with Eddie Murphy in it, which was kind of comical. It was called Candy Cane Lane, I think. It was a 2023 movie. Speaking of movies, we watched one that was pretty good. I mean, more than kind of the standard Christmas movie script. It was called The Holdovers, and it was about a boarding school back east, and the kids that couldn't go home for Christmas for various reasons and had to stay in the boarding school, and then the staff that also stayed behind to keep the boarding school going. So an endearing, we thought it was going to be a comedy. It wasn't a comedy, but it was good. There were some funny parts and it was good. And I would say it's appropriate for, I think it was rated PG, maybe for language and smoking. But other than that, it was just, I thought it was a really well done movie. It was probably my favorite movie for this Christmas season. The only other thing I have to add is that I baked sourdough bread this morning. I made the dough yesterday while in the morning because the ride didn't start till 1:30, so I had all morning. And then I made the dough, put it in the refrigerator, and let it do its thing in the refrigerator overnight. Took it out of the refrigerator this morning, divided it, let it rest, and then baked it. And then the second loaf, unbaked, the dough is going in the freezer, or it went in the freezer already. So I'll have a picture of that too. It's beautiful sourdough bread and very tasty. Of course, I had a slice, of course. On that note, I wish you a very happy July 2nd. The 12 days of Christmas are going to be winding down here, and I'm a little bit disappointed about the timing. Not that I can do anything about that. That it's going to end on a kind of a standard weekday, but you know, that's the way it goes. And I'll get back to my regularly scheduled podcasts here soon, and maybe some more knitting content. So I hope you enjoy, and feel free to send me any feedback on the content that you've seen, and if there's anything that I can provide that you would like more of, or maybe less of. So appreciate your comments. Okay, here we all are, big group of us. Odin's in the lead at the moment. We're in the back of the line now.